We're also following these stories out of Kentucky, Georgia, the harrowing stories of people who were trying to survive the tornadoes that happened over the weekend. We're getting more information about the candle factory that allegedly did not allow their employees to leave, and several members of that employee team were killed, along with the information that we're getting out of the Amazon factory, where other employees were stating that they were not allowed to leave. And in fact, in both cases, they are being informed, or we are being informed, that there was a threat of these workers losing their jobs. And this is why many of the workers in the Amazon warehouse, as well as the candle warehouse, did not leave. And so there's investigations that are going into those situations, because in times of disaster or emergency, obviously, workers do have rights. The governor of the state has come out and said that they have not seen devastation like this before. And we can see the images on our screen, Georgia. This is a catastrophic event. It is an event where so many people have lost their lives, and to add insult into injury, the pain on top of everything else. This is just before the holiday season, and there's still search and rescue efforts going on, trying to see if they can find anyone alive. And this is a result of the 30 tornadoes that took place across the South this weekend. So we're keeping an eye on this. We have a couple of clips that I want us to play. But I'm just, Georgia, we talk about on this show a lot the environmental impact and the impact, rather, of climate change. I just don't see how we can effectively have a conversation about this tragedy without looking at the fact that this is a rare occurrence inside of the month of December for a tornado, a chain of tornadoes to break out like this. This is not normal. Yet, because of the nature of our news cycle and because of the absurdity of the moment that we're in, we don't have the bandwidth or the political will to actually look at the underlying problems here to help prevent a future tragedy. And I don't know what it's like on your side of town, but down here in the South, it has gotten warm enough to have trees blossoming again. We're having a false spring before we've even had winter yet. I think we really need to slow down in this country and take in consideration the underlying impacts of all of our actions that are exacerbating this climate disaster.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree with you more. And in Minnesota, I remember we would have blizzards as early as Halloween, and we just now got our first snow, and it's melting quickly. So there's definitely change in climate, even here in Minnesota, where we could see below zero temperature several times throughout our winters. And yeah, I mean, we continuously talk about this, and I just feel like, these are conversations that continuously happen even outside of our show, but the people who are in positions to really make significant change on this refuse to listen. They refuse to look at the oil spills, the wildfires. They refuse to look at all the emissions from the cars. They refuse to help us lighten our footprint on this earth.
Yes.
And
that's right.
If we don't figure it out, if we don't figure out a way to make 90% of homes and businesses run on solar energy or wind energy, if we don't make a huge shift, we are going to be in trouble. We're going to have more and more cities across America that look like this. And it might not be because of a tornado. Next time, it might be because of a fire. The ocean, we might not be able to continue eating fish and seafood that we love because we are contaminating our waters with oil. And this is not just one body of water. This has happened in several places across our country. And so we are failing. And on a global scale, we're failing as well. We've seen the UN call us out as a country for our lack of responsibility on the environment. But what I'll wrap this up with, Ben, is it also reminds me of the important practices of our Indigenous brothers and sisters.
That's right. That's right.
Because one thing that they're experts at is caring for Mother Earth and caring for the different things on this earth, and the wisdom and the knowledge that they have on the interconnectedness of the earth, the wind, the fire, the sky, is beyond anything that I've seen in Western civilization, if you want to call it that, right? And so there has to be a shift. There has to be a shift, or we are going to be in serious trouble.
Yeah, and I think the reality is if we were to define what you just said, we are going to be in serious trouble. If we were just to be just purely candid about what that means, we are talking about the continuity of civilization here. We're talking about the survival of our species here. We don't have anything without this planet. And yet and still we have leaders who pretend as though because we have snow in the winter that there's no such thing as climate change. We had a senator take a snowball on the floor of the Senate chambers, and said, look, it's snowing outside. Therefore, there's no climate change.